And then there were several that sat in that desk in front of me in news that were good. And then there were a couple, one in particular that was a little different. I'll never forget, and I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to mention her name, especially. I think because I've forgotten it, but but I'm not going to mention her name either. Anyway, we already know that she's a she.
Yeah, I was going to go gender neutral here. Go
Yeah,
with
well,
they,
probably,
them pronouns.
Yeah, I messed up there. I probably should have done that as well. But anyway, this person, I remember, and you may correct me on the details, and if you remember the details better than I do, maybe. I remember the overall. And it was one day, an elderly man who had been in the newspaper business for many years and was out of it now. I believe he was living in North Carolina and was working and knew people in Mayfield and knew some of the people there at the Messenger, knew the publisher, knew Eric. And he just came in for a visit one day. I don't think he was selling. I don't think he was doing work that day, but he was in the neighborhood. He was in the area. And he stopped by to see Eric and some of the people that he knew at the Mayfield Messenger. And this person in front of me, once that person found out that this man was a longtime newspaper person, she perked up. She was in it. She was into this conversation. And as they walked around the newsroom and they walked around the rest of the office, and he was getting the tour, and she had her ear here and there, and she was making sure she was involved in this conversation. And I remember at the end of it, Eric and this man, they come to the front of the newsroom. You know how a newsroom was back then. It was like 8 desks, 2 rows of 4, all facing forward. So it was like a schoolroom, really. And so they're at the front of the newsroom, and we're busy. You and I are busy. We're trying to get the paper. I don't know. I can't remember if Jim was there. I don't think he was. But you and I were there, and Amy was there. And so they come up, and they're talking. And you and I, they're talking to all of us. They're talking to each other mostly, but they're talking to all of us. And you and I are working. We're trying to get our work done. And you're up at the front of the newsroom, and my desk is right behind this person's. And so I can see her being very interested in this conversation, and she wants to get in it so bad. She's got to get into this conversation some way. Well, she got her chance when this man said, or asked the question, "Are y'all a morning paper or afternoon?" Now, you and I know what a morning paper is, and we know what an afternoon paper is.
For the sake of anybody listening who might not know, let's specify. The morning papers are done. They come out. They're delivered to your doorstep at the beginning of the day, and means they're worked on the entire day before. Afternoon paper, which what we were, worked on throughout the morning, delivered to your doorstep that afternoon.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry.
So yeah, no, that's fine. I'm glad you clarified that, because it does need clarification, and it makes this a whole lot more fun to hear what I'm about to say when you know that. So he's up there, and he's just talking there. Him and Eric are just talking generally. He and Eric are just generally talking to each other and about different things. And he asked the question, "Are y'all a morning paper, afternoon?" Well, like you said, you established we're an afternoon paper. Well, here's her chance. She perks up. "We're a morning paper. We come to work in the mornings." And I saw your head go down, and I'm trying not to laugh. And I look up at you, and you look back at me, and we're both trying not to laugh. And what gets me, what was the best part of that, was the look on the man's face when she said that. I mean, it was like, I've just stepped into a bizarro world here. I don't know what in the world. The look on his face was just priceless. It's just, I wish I could describe. I wish I had a photo of his face to show, because it was just so priceless, the look on his face when she said, "We're a morning paper. We come to work in the mornings." I mean, it's just like she sang it, and his face. And I can't remember, was it you or was it Eric? But one of you said, loud enough for her to hear, "Oh, we're an afternoon paper. We publish in the afternoons." And she just kind of sat back in the chair. I can't remember. It was either you or Eric. I know it wasn't me, because if I would have said it, I'd started busting out laughing. And probably would have followed it up with some expletives and another word or two. But that was like, I'll never forget. I've told that story so many times to newspaper people, and we get it. We have a good time with that story. That's one of my favorite ones. I mean, it was just a very, very interesting interaction.